What's going on, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists, and welcome to On the Bench with Pete, the series that you put on in the background whilst you hobby or paint along with me. Now, it feels like forever since I've been out here, and my studio's the atmosphere seems to reflect that. It's very cold, very it's got that sort of unused feel to it. So, I don't know. It's I don't know what the deal is. My paints are all separating. I can see, just generally what the heck. I'm excited though, and more excited than usual. And yes, I should be using these sessions to start my Indomitus, but things are happening in real life which are very exciting, which I can't talk about right now. But I can talk about the hobby side of it. I'm sorting out different areas of the studio. This is like my main hobby paint workstation, but behind me I've set out an area for building. Next to that there'll be one for painting and then one for showcasing, not necessarily in that order, but yeah. And I'm super excited because I want to talk about fantasy stuff today. Fantasy, that's right. And with that in mind, I've got, I must have had them last time, or my last episode, whenever I did that, some fantasy models here all over. And I've got more that obviously has arrived in the post since then in these brown paper bags. I can't even remember what they were. So it's almost like an unboxing for me. So what have I got here? Oh, Barbarians. ×2. That's good. Nothing else in there? Nope. Forlorn Hope Games. Thank you for your order. You are welcome. Let's bring my bin over. I have a feeling I might need that. And in the other bag, another one from Forlorn Games. What have we got here? Ah, more monks. Still not the ones I'm looking for. Yep, still not the ones I'm after. Or the one I'm after, I should say. But you all know about that. So, looking at this then, a lot of today is going to be primarily prep work and priming and stuff. I've got some sort of ghoul thing here which needs finishing off his base because he's done. Needs a bit of dry brushing on his base. It's like a ghoul. Reaper Bones, I believe. Anyway, enough of all that. I've got my coffee, which probably is quite cool by now. Let me try. Oh, it's still quite hot. That's good. Now I've got that's because you can make them in these cups and they stay hot for ages. I've been out since then. I've been picking up a prescription and various other things. Alright, so I don't even know where to start on my benches. So I tidied it and now it's untidy again, but not in a bad way. It's there's all stuff. Let's just get to the bench. And then that way you can see a bit more clearly what I'm doing. Right, I've laid these paints out here because I've got this figure here, this cave troll. I was doing his fur. It looks like I've used this paint here, this, what's it called? Charred brown, for the main colour of his fur. I'll put that one to one side here. I think I need a wash before I do the others, dry brushes though, so we'll do that. Then I'm going to be using Kobold Scale, and then Goblin Skin. Right, so I'm just going to pop him over to one side so I can see more or less what I'm doing. I've ordered myself another really useful box to kind of pack them away in. So I'm all about being ready for, storage and movals if I need to. At a moment's notice, or pretty much at a moment's notice. Like, give me a couple of days, I'll get it sorted. Right, What else? What else? What else? I'm just looking around, seeing what I've been doing. Oh, it looks like I was basing some old Hero Quest figures here. The mummy looks good on his base. We can clean up the side of his. Let me put my hobby glasses on. You know the score. It's hobby along with me, paint along with me, whatever whatever you want to do. And let me just borrow a scraper here. I'm just gonna off camera scrape the base of my mummy. What? Good job, you all know what I'm doing, isn't it? Right. And I'm going to pop some. Right. Gonna need a brown, aren't I? So we're gonna be needing a Steel Legion drab. If I haven't got it out already. No. There it is. Steel Legion drab. I'm going to paint the base of this bad boy. Oh, not much going on in there. Can't even shake it up. Dude, give me... all dried out. Well, that's okay, because all I'm doing here is just going around the edge of the base. That's it. That is it. That is it. Right, so I want to talk about some stuff. So, fantasy. You may or may not know me in terms of I don't exactly have my finger on the pulse when it comes to like news and stuff. Not these days. I've been lazy. I've lapsed into a sort of comatose position. There we go. That's his base done. I'm going to do the same on all their bases here, I think. Yeah, so... And Warhammer Fantasy, old world stuff. Apparently that was announced back along. Like when I was asleep under that rock, you remember? Hang on. So kind of like bringing it back, but in a sense of like the fantasy version of the Horus Heresy, so set hundreds of years before the old world was destroyed. And I thought, wow, that is so cool. And what a cool move on Games Workshop's part, because now they can keep a few more people happy in the hobby and introduce a few more people into the fantasy side of it as well. Such as myself. Now, see, Age of Sigmar, I don't know what it is about it. It just never really appealed to me. But that I was thinking of using my Age of Sigmar figures for my role-playing. That way I thought, well, I could paint them how I want, which I can anyway, but I just thought, just get whatever I can get from whatever army I want, just get models I like the look of and paint them up. I'm particularly keen in the like the giants, ogres and things. Is it Sons of Behemoth? I don't know, whatever they're called. You know the ones. They're kind of, I'm guessing, about the same price as an Imperial Knight would be, but yeah. Nearly there. Right. Wow. Okay, so that's their bases done. This paint pot is kind of more or less had it, but I'm hoping I got some more over on my other desk. We'll check that out later. Later on. Oh, I need a wire brush over there anyway. It's a question of finding out what I did with it, really. I'm so unorganised at the moment, but things have been going on in real life town. And I've got to say, there were points where my stress levels were through the roof. I can't really tell you what's been going on yet. There will come a time in the near future, my friends, where I can tell you what's been going on, and I want to talk about it, and I will want to talk about it. Aha, there it is. There's my wire brush, which I need for these bad boys. Yeah, so stuff's been going on. Looks quite shiny as is. I would say in terms of metal miniatures, these are probably the higher end. To get these sculpts. I've been looking at people doing 3D printing a lot lately, and I'm thinking, to me it looks more hassle than it's worth. It really does. I don't know if I can be bothered with all that aggro mess waiting around and taking up of such space. Not until they get better. That's my view right now. Don't know, I seem to waste a lot of like resin and things. Nah, you're alright. I'll let other people do the donkey work on the 3D printing. I'll just buy from them. You know. That way if I order a product, I haven't got to clip the supports off and whatever else. It can just be like, I'm doing this off camera, by the way, because I don't want all the metal dust on my bench. You know, you understand. So yeah, yeah, let someone else do that. Print out something for 3 hours and then see it's a misprint and have to do it again. No, you're alright. I can't be doing with all that. There's plenty of flash on here. There's trim off as well. Let's have a comparison of size here a moment. Yeah, about the same size. Gonna put these on the bases. Then prime them. Not very exciting on the bench today, I'm afraid, folks. Watch Pete prep miniatures, but that's about the size of it right now. Now, going back to the fantasy thing. Now, when I first got into the hobby properly, well, let's reword that. When I first got into the hobby in my old age, what, I don't know, what we're talking, 8 years ago now, something like that. Fantasy appealed to me, but I didn't want to be learning 2 games, so I was trying to learn 40k at the time, and then I came into 40k in 6th edition. That oofing great rulebook, do you remember? So many rules to read through, or, well, it was, I found it very confusing, if I'm honest. And I'm gonna. Then I read the book like literally a couple of weeks later. 7th edition comes out. I was like, cheers, bud. You know. Yeah, cheers, ears. Yeah, that wasn't fun, but right, so base can he go around the base, can he? Yeah, he can go on that one. Is that GW one? I think it is. No, it's not. Well, you just never can tell, can you? Scale model. You can go on there as well. Well, when the time comes. Just getting them ready. I'm gonna need some of this. I will need some super glue. Yeah, so going back to the, my entry into the hobby as an adult, well, an older adult. Fantasy was just more a case of, I'll just paint the miniature. I like the miniatures. I'll just get the miniatures to paint. I acquired some. I acquired some lizard men from a friend of mine who was on hard times and was looking to sell his stuff, which I bought off him. Lizard men amongst them. And I thought, I like lizard men. I don't know anything about the game, but I like the look of lizard men. They look really cool. No, they really did. They look awesome. So I did that, and then they, I don't know, brought out Age of Sigmar and said they were kind of killing the old world, and that ruined the fantasy for me. The whole thrill and enjoyment of it, I didn't. I lost all the excitement I had for fantasy, basically. But now they're talking about reviving it in this way. Kind of like they're not losing out. It's almost like everyone's a winner by doing what they're doing. So they're opening up the old world theatre again for people who want that sort of thing. And you know what? I think that's brilliant. I'm going to put some plastic putty into here, because these are slaughter bases and I don't necessarily want running my finger over it a bit here. I'm just trying to, there we are, make that even. I don't know how long this is going to take to dry, so I'm just running my finger over it. I'm using plastic putty to fill in the slaughter gaps here. Finger off in the Citadel water pot. Now, I've got my old Citadel work paint station out, where I'm going to be filming, not today, or maybe later today, painting with patrons. That's going to be done over there, different area. This is the On the Bench with Pete area, if you like, if you will. And that's how I want to keep it. Also keep it for the Patreon videos that I do here, like the paint-alongs and stuff. Painting with patrons. Gonna have a whole lot to talk about, you know. I'll probably keep it till the next episode of Painting with Patrons, but man, we can have a whole lot to talk about in that episode. I'm just holding that miniature down there with a brush because he's not as even as I thought if I let go. Oh, he's alright there. He's alright now. That's good. Just let him dry like that. Yeah. So these barbarians. Barbarian is it's a character class I've always liked when it was first introduced. And I can't remember when it was first introduced. I think it was in a magazine supplement. Sorry, I'm talking about D&D here now. Sorry, I thought you had your mind reading heads on. Keep up. Nah, that's my fault. Sorry about that. Yeah, D&D. Which is what these are essentially going to be for. Fantasy role-playing, right? And fantasy role-playing. yeah, when the Barbarian class was first introduced, I think it was in a magazine supplement, perhaps that TSR put out. I don't know. It could have been a Dragon edition. I don't know what it was. It's in a magazine. I'm pretty sure of it. And then it became later on. It became a thing. Legitimized character class, and I love it. I thought, how cool is that? I want to play a barbarian. Never played one. I don't think. I might have done, but so long ago. It would have been so long ago, and I can't remember. Alright, so just holding him onto the base here now. But they're so cool. And I remember a friend of mine called Rob, one of my original D&D group crew, as I like to call them. He had a thing for the character class called Thief Acrobat. That was his thing. You know, and they were pretty cool. He was fascinated by that whole thing. And when he, you know, would run games, he would incorporate that class into the games, you know. Thief Acrobat. Yeah, very good. He was a good DM as well. Yeah. Yes. I think I can safely say their first names on air. He was called Robert, and the other GM was called Mark. I won't reveal their surnames, of course, but Mark and Rob, they were really good DMs, and they were the people who I looked up to inspire me to become a DM. They inspired my DMing, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, they were awesome. They were really good. Rob was the one who would paint all the miniatures for the nerdy kids in school, because he was an awesome painter. Back then, he could have been a golden demon painter or something. Yeah, he was awesome, really good. Back in the times when you didn't have shade washes and things, but he obviously used the inks to achieve similar results. And he was just brilliant. I thought he was brilliant anyway. He was great at freehand too, because I had this thief with a long coat once, and he just put lots of little intricate patchwork on the outside of the coat, and it was amazing. I thought it was great. Put a lot of time and effort into it, and I appreciate that. So these, I think, are probably ready, I would say, for varnish. Yeah, but they probably are. These Hero Quest ones. Got this wizard character here too. Yeah. What do I do? I could do some work on him. Put him in a holder for a moment. Do some work on his hair, couldn't I? I could do. See, these wizards, they're typically old men, but I don't want to go too grey on his beard and hair, because I think you need a little bit of a contrast. I'm going to old school paint his skin in a moment. So what I'm going to do, find some Bugman's Glow. Easy peasy. Shake that up. And I'm going to paint his skin. So this is a real mixed bag. So I think my title for this video is not going to be anything to do with what models I'm painting, because it has been a pretty stressful time lately. I don't mean recently lately, but there have been stressful times. Right, so I'm going to call it Keep On Swimming. I think that was something from Finding Nemo, but don't quote me on that. Keep on swimming, so just keep on going when things are stressful. Keep on going, and it'll work out. Things are working out. The key is to stay positive during your stressful time. I can't even talk about why it's been so stressful. Not like in a terrible way, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't stressful. There has been some stressful times of late. So I'm going to paint this wizard. In terms of skin, he really doesn't have much showing. He really doesn't. That's okay. I mean, a wizard, I'll be truthful, this type of wizard, they're the easiest type. Where they sort of stood upright, holding a staff, usually, or a crystal, or a book of magic, or something. But I'll be honest, they're not my favourite pose, even though they're the easiest ones to paint. They're a bit, I don't know. I suppose I've done them so many times. I find them a little, not boring as such, but it's not anything new, let's just say. I do like a miniature that not so much challenges, but it's like, oh, this is new territory. I've not done anything like this before. Which is why I'll probably find painting Tau so interesting when I come to do those eventually. I've got some Tau. Not enough for an army, but I've got some. There's just this type of miniature. Got loads of, I've done, plastic ones, resin ones, metal ones, all sorts. It's just atypical of a wizard of this kind. So I was obviously in Dragonlance mode when I put this white on him. Raining outside, oh boo. We've got scaffolding up right now, so that drips on your head as well. It seems to drip more with scaffolding than without it, which is annoying. Like it wasn't bad enough already. Awkward to manoeuvre around as well. So I'm just waiting for the roofers to come and start, which they probably won't in this bad weather, but yeah, it's just a matter of waiting. There we are. That's his skin. Done with Bugman's glue. That's that bit done. That's good. Wash that brush off fairly quick because it's a better brush than the one I've just left in now. I think it's time for a new bit of kitchen towel here. Yeah, so I've got to dig out my old fantasy miniatures later today, I hope. And I've dug out a couple. I don't know why I had a couple. I think because they were already primed. My friend had already primed them. and started painting one. So I don't know about that. Because I'm not sure what I quite like. Oh, excuse me. I quite like the blue colour scheme for the reptilian skin. I don't know what way I'm going to go with it yet. I'll be truthful with you. Let's zoom out again, because I don't know what I'm doing right now. Maybe I can apply these to a base now. Maybe. Just maybe. Maybe. So. There we are. It's sitting alright on the base, it would seem. Just this one now. Needs a bit of filing, I would say, that one. That's not good. Let's have another sip of coffee, shall we? But yeah, I'm truly excited for the fantasy thing. I really am. I have heard, though, that it's a long way away off of actually happening yet. I'm talking a couple of years at least. So, but that's all right. That gives me time to get things prepared. Would I have a go at the old fantasy game now? Yeah, I probably would, actually. Maybe there'll be a chance in the future, in one of the Games Workshop stores, to go in and play it. Now, although it won't be the original old fantasy game, I think it's still going to use the whole rank and file thing, that type of feel. So it'll give me a good enough feel for how it was, I think. That's good enough for me in this day and age, I suppose. If the only other way you can get your fantasy kicks and you like that style of wargaming is through other companies, then that's the way you go. But I like Citadel. I like Games Workshop. I like their whole ethos in terms of how they're projected to a consumer audience such as myself, if that makes sense. Right, this cave troll, I'm going to put some Agrax Earthshade onto him. Agrax, where are you? Don't think. Where's my Agrax Earthshade? Where are you? Could you be out already? I don't know. I'm just nipping over to the other side of the studio a moment just to check, double check. Don't think it's over here. No, it's not. It's on the other paint station. Now that is odd. That is very odd. We've got Reikland Flesh Shade, which I don't want to use. Null Oil, which Gathonian Camel Shade, another Null Oil, Seraphim Sepia, Drakenhof Nightshade. Where Null Oil Gloss. Where is my Agrax Earthshade? Right in front of me, staring. Couldn't be more centralised if I tried. Knew it was there somewhere. That's embarrassing. Right. That didn't just happen, alright? Okay. Now I'm looking for an old... Wish I had one in better condition. The old wash brushes, because they were good. I like the shape of them. You know? I'm damn. I'm sorry about the silence here. I'm thinking about carrying on doing some more painting on him first. Which, yeah, I could. Light brown, such as Talon Sand, would probably be quite good. So we'll have a look at that. Talon Sand, yeah, why not? Talon Sand. He's got a couple of pouches. What he's keeping in there, I don't know. Could be anything. You know, in your world it could be bones. Someone else's world it could be money. Could be anything, couldn't it? Little trinkets he picks up. Who knows? Who knows indeed. Right. Nice and thin anyway. It's getting quite warm in here actually now. Turn off the heater. Turning off the heater. These pouches are quite easy to get to. It was a bit annoying. I went to the chemist earlier. They didn't have all my medication. It was supposed to have been ready yesterday. I mean, it's not their fault, but well, I suppose it is because they've got it there. Obviously, they just haven't got around to making it up yet. But it means I've got to go back there now, which is annoying. Right. I'm not zoomed in on him. He's quite a big model, this one. It's the thing of metal miniatures, if they were big, they get kind of heavy in your hand, don't they? That's the thing. I'm looking forward to doing my update with you all. Looking forward to it. Yes, that's good. I'm happy with that. Happy with that. I'm just going to leave that there a moment whilst I check something out. So do look at the miniature. I am looking to change a few things up in here, hence going to be all the removal and stuff. But yeah, I'm just looking around because my studio, though it's not massive, like I still lose things in it, right? Yeah, I still lose things in it. It's crazy. How I managed to lose stuff is beyond me. Sorry, I was looking for something then, but I can't find it, so whatever. Now, I think Tusk or Fur is a colour I'm looking for, I think. Yeah, I found it. I love my drawers, my rainbow coloured drawers. So easy to find paints, you know. It's so easy to find them. It really is. Yeah. These guys here are pretty much ready for varnishing, although they look like they've been varnished. So I'll just varnish the bases of them. That's what I'll do. So let's pop them to one side a moment. Gives me a little more room here. Tusk or fur, because his the fur he's wearing around his well, all over really. Where it turns over, I like this to be the other side of it, kind of like this, almost the skin side of it, from whatever poor beast he relinquished it from. It's very similar to Pokemon's Glow. Very similar. Right, nice and thin. There we go. So I'm gonna definitely have to edit some of this video. Well, I edit some of it. I edit all of it. I'm definitely gonna have to edit it. Too many gaps of silence. I don't like that. I do apologise if you come across them. Usually it means I'm just concentrating. Yeah. That's what it usually means. Just concentration, that's all it is. My wife is going out after work. She finishes work early today, sort of around 1:30. She's getting ready. She's going out. She's going over to see a colleague that she works with. She's offered to do a set of nails for her, because years ago my wife used to be a nail technician. Did the course. Really, so she could do her own nails. But you know, there was a time, a long time ago now, where she was actually doing it for a living. Not a very long period of time, but yeah, it's very good at it. And but she wants to use it as a kind of a social bonding experience with her colleague. Her sort of new colleague, getting to know them a bit more. Like team bonding almost. She doesn't want to go into business doing it again, else she'll be inundated with requests from other people going, oh, you can just do me a set as well, and you know, so on and so forth, right? And before she knows it, she'll have no time for herself. I think this dude's wearing a necklace of some sort. That's okay. A couple of other things I'm excited for. Cubicle 7, doing a Doctor Who role-playing game. I'm interested to see what that's like. Obviously, I'm interested in Wrath and Glory, of course. The fantasy one, I don't know, maybe. Because if you remember, Warhammer originally was more of a tabletop role-playing game when it first came out, like the first edition. I had that, by the way. Yeah, I had that. Kind of evolved into the tabletop miniatures war game that is now, or it became. Yeah, and the other thing I'm excited about in the role-playing world is Free League's The One Ring. So they kind of bought the rights for that, and they're redoing that. I think they'll do a good job. The One Ring. What else am I excited about? Um, well, I've got the Flames of War, as you know. I've had that for a while. I'll get back into that again at some point. Do some of that. Flames of War, goodness, all good. Might get back into Bolt Action one day. Probably not until we move, though. The reason being, I just haven't got the space right now. I just haven't. Sadly. That looks good. That looks good. Right. Okay. This is tricky. This is going to be tricky. Oh, just behind the pouch there. Oh, yeah. He's getting it. He's getting it. I'm doing all right, guys. I'm doing all right. So, yeah, super exciting times for wargaming for me, and a hobby for me anyway. Like I say, that whole fantasy thing kind of blew my mind when I was like, how did I not know about this? Blew my mind. And it was thanks to Stevie at Who Took My Dice miniature painting. Who Took My Dice gaming. Who Took My Dice? So I know him as. He was the one that said it. I was like, let me check this out, and I'm like, whoa. Yeah, he's very up on all the news and that. I'm way behind when it comes to that sort of thing. I'm just like I say, I'm a dinosaur. I live in a little bubble, like I say, most of the time. But I enjoy my bubble. I like my bubble. It's good. There we are. Now, he's doing all right. He's doing all right. What sort of colour should I do his hair though? That's the thing. I think a sort of grey colour would be good. A light grey. Celestra grey. Yeah. Celestra grey. It's a base paint, but if I thin it down enough, it should be okay. So yeah. Time for a new palette. Time for a new palette. Shaking this up a bit here because I haven't used it for a long time. And this is base paint, so it's a bit thicker. Yeah. I'll do his hair on the back of his head there. Celestra grey. Then after the wash, I can dry brush that, hopefully. Have some more coffee, shall we? Yeah, I'm just looking to see where I don't know where my other fantasy miniatures might be. Yeah. I can see some metal miniatures here. They look funky. Yeah. Yeah, this it'll have to be another video. That I can show you one of them. The lizard men creatures, whatever they're, that I got off my friend. Someone riding them, I think. I don't know though. I will have to see see what that's all about. I don't even know, I think what they call now, Seraphim? I don't know. There's so much I don't know about Fantasy and Age of Sigmar. I'm going to be asking for help in another video from you all. And I'll do it in the painting snippets video, because I think it'll be better suited for that. I'll have the setup over there then for that. Alright. Okay. Okay. Right. So, Celestial Grey is not a bad colour. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. No, that's pretty good. I like that. Yeah, no, I like that. That works. When I put some Agrax Earth Shade on later, that'll probably come out quite well, I think. That's the other thing. Once we move, we'll be in a whole new place. Mini Warzone will be reborn from the ashes of adventure. Making this stuff up as I go along. Right, that's his hair done. I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah. I think, what time has we got here? 58 minutes. Oh, nearly time to stop anyway. But I think I can start priming these guys. Prime them with an old brush. Yeah, we'll do that. Prime them up. Prime them up, son. Forgot here. That's quite a good brush. Use that. That one needs mixing up a bit. Right. Pop him on a base like so. And paint him like this. I can't remember what colours I used on the other one. Monk. I don't think it matters too much, because just old cloth robes, like, doesn't really matter, I don't think. Yes, Barbarian. We're all being primed. I'm going to be all painted in the old way. Old school. Metal. Yeah, this is alright. It's going on alright, that's good. Get these all primed up, and then they'll be ready for another session one day. So, not having an awful lot of hobby time these days, due to real life. As I say, it will all become clear eventually. I will let you know what's been going on. I really can't right now though, and I hope you can appreciate that. Oh, the guy, he'd stick on this holder for me. I'm wondering if I've already got a guy like this. Still, you can't have too many monks, right? I've got some evil priest guys to paint up sometime. Sort of like Nurgly ones. I don't know what the heck they're all about, but they looked good at the time. But this is what I'm thinking, they can all be used for role-playing. And now the solo role-playing tools are so good, well, a good time will be had by all. Let's just say that. Another barbarian, another old school. Yeah, boy. Let's get this on here. It's got a shield as well, this one. The other one's just carrying an axe. I mean, you could use him to represent the same model over if you wanted to, I guess. You know, when he's got a sword and when he's got an axe and a shield, you know, or a sword and a shield rather. Yeah, easy enough. So, right, okay. What's your weapon of choice, sword or axe? Guess it doesn't really matter, does it? As long as you're good with it. Right, so done the priming on those. Glasses off. Zoom right out, or we probably were anyway, more or less. And where are you? There you are. Right, back to it. So we're at the end of another on the bench with Pete. Bit of an odd one. Yeah, just keep swimming, guys. That's all you can do. I've seen some people lately on YouTube that look like they've been suffering with, you know, anxiety thing and all the stuff that's, you know, going on in real life. And I said, don't worry about it. You know, there was one that's talking about Hobby Block. I've never, well, I have experienced it a couple of times, not in a long period of time. But there's one who's experienced, and I said, look, don't worry about it. It will come back when it comes back. It will. Trust me, it will. And you know, like I say, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. That's what you gotta do in life. That's what you gotta do. Just keep swimming, and eventually you'll get to where you're meant to be. I'm sure that was from Finding Nemo, but yeah, just keep swimming. I'm just enjoying my car. I was just shaking up a bit of paint there, the primer, because it seemed like the medium was separating from the pigment. So I've given it a bit of a shake. Right. So I've got primer to wait to dry. I've got loads to do here. I've achieved nothing. Well, I haven't. I've painted stuff and done stuff I don't need to do again. I've prepped minis. I've based the minis. Put them on a base, I should say. I've got to varnish the bases of my Hero Quest miniatures over there, which I will do. And yeah, then we're in good shape, I think. Right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Remember, all brushes lead to all. Please give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, either way. And I'll see you on another video. Bye for now.